Hey, it's Colleen Bechtel from Keller Williams Legacy One Realty, and I'm here with Brett Collin from Barrett Financial. And today we're going to talk a little bit about how do you raise your credit score. If you're hoping to buy a house, and what is your credit score? What makes up your credit score? And if you need a little bit of help with the credit score, how can you raise that credit score up? So Brett, first, when someone wants to buy a house, the first thing you're going to do is run their credit, right?
Yes. The first thing you definitely want to do is get with a licensed loan officer, have your credit ran. If you know you have some credit challenges, don't let that scare you, because we have to draw a line in the sand somewhere to get a starting point. And then once we know what your credit score is, then we know how we can react to improve it and what we can do to work on it.
Fantastic. Now, if somebody's a little shy and they don't want to call a lender yet to have their credit score run, they can go to
freecreditreport.com is a great website. It's a free credit report for you. Don't sign up for any credit monitoring services. That's just going to increase debts, but it gives you a good consumer credit report. It will show you what's on there in regards to your active trade lines, your past closed accounts, any derogatory, any collections, and it will give us a good snapshot of where we need to start.
Okay. And real quick, what is the minimum credit score needed to even get a loan?
Right now for an FHA loan, we're looking at a minimum of 580 on a credit score. Really, ideally is about a 620 range, because that will open us up to down payment assistance and a lot more programs.
More attractive rates.
Yes, and better interest rates.
Okay. Next is, how do they calculate a credit score? What is it?
Right here, you will see what makes your credit score.
Right here.
We've got 35% is based on your payment history, and what we want to see is good payment history. 30% of that is going to be your credit usage. And what we mean by that is, what is your debt ratio in regards to your utilization of credit? So if you have a $10,000 available credit limit on all of your credit cards, you never want to have those balances over 50%.
Okay.
So if you have a $10,000 limit, you really want to keep in your mind, you don't want to go over 5,000.
Just don't max out my credit cards.
No, don't max out your credit cards. But we have a way we're going to show you how to avoid that.
Okay.
Then we go down to next 15% is going to be the length of credit. How long have you had those credit cards, card loans, blooper reels? Next is going to be the credit mix of 10% of your score is based on whether you have mortgages, car loans, credit cards, student loans, all of that combination. And then lastly is new credit. They are going to rate your credit score based on newer credit, both positively and negatively. So if you just got a brand new car, you definitely don't want to be going shopping for a house 2 weeks later, because your score could have a little bit of a dip when you've added a couple $1,000s worth of new debt.
Got it. Okay. All right. So now that we know what makes up credit score, if our credit score is just a little bit, we're not quite there yet, we want to get to at least a 620. What are the top 3 ways to raise your credit score?
So here's the number one fix, and this is what a lot of people just don't even know about when it comes to credit.
I know I didn't.
When you get your billing cycle or your bill in the mail, or it gets emailed to you, you're already late. And what I mean by late, you're not late where it's going to hurt your credit score as in a 30-day late payment, but the same information that's on your bill is the same that gets sent to all 3 credit bureaus. So the trick is to figure out, when does your billing cycle end, then back up a couple days, make your payment, so the payment will post before that billing cycle ends. So for example, if you have a credit card and its billing cycle is going to end on the 15th, and you know it takes 2 days for that credit card to post the payment, you want to set an alarm or set an alert so you can make that payment sometime around the 11th or 12th of the month, so that way the lower balance is going to report, and then that's what they're going to send to the credit bureau.
So what I'm hearing is, don't wait for the statement.
No.
Go online, find out what your balance is, and before the billing cycle ends. So make the payment. Pay all of it or as much of it. Is there a secret to how much?
It depends on how much your utilization has been. You can pay it down to 0. Some people say the rule of thumb is to even leave $5 on it. It all depends on what was your starting balance versus where you're at. Because some people, it's just affordability.
And why does that affect it?
Because what you're trying to do is you're trying to show the credit bureaus that your utilization of your credit is very low.
Okay.
So if you have, for example, if you have a $1,000 credit card and you use it every month because you want to get your points, and then you make that payment in full, well, you've basically used $1,000 of credit, but every month the credit bureaus are going to see it's maxed out. And so they're going to ding you and your score is going to reflect lower.
Okay.
So you're just basically beating them to the punch.
Okay, I love it.
And then the other things you can do is if you are trying to establish credit, a great way to do it is to be added on as an authorized user to someone with great credit. So if you have a family member, you have a friend,
Mom or dad,
grandma, grandpa, somebody that's willing to add you to one of their credit cards, the rule of thumb is the oldest credit card they have with the biggest balance, or excuse me, the biggest available limit with the lowest balance. Because you're going to piggyback their history and all of their hard work they've been doing. So if you had a credit card you've had for 20 years and you want to add one of your kids to it, they're going to have a 20-year experience or history of that credit card overnight.
Wow.
And so their scores are going to boost up immediately, and within generally 45 to 90 days, they will start generating a score. And within usually 90 days after that, they're going to qualify for their own credit.
Wow.
And then at that point, at some point in the future, you can always remove them.
Okay.
And here's the trick. You don't have to give them an actual credit card, so they don't have access.
To give them.
No, you definitely don't. So they're getting all your good credit benefits, but they're not getting the luxury of having mom and dad's credit card in their wallet, which is huge.
Yes.
And then the last thing, which a lot of people are unaware of, is you can reach out to a creditor, and if you have a relationship with them, you have an active credit card, you can ask for what's called late payment forgiveness. You can basically say, I would like a goodwill adjustment, and a lot of times you can negotiate with them. So maybe a couple years ago, you had a job change or whatever the case may be, you're on vacation, you forgot to make a payment, you're like, and that 30-day payment's still hanging over there. You can reach out to them, ask for forgiveness. And then one of the tricks that a lot of people like to use as kind of that ace in the hole is say, I am willing to give, if you're willing to give me payment forgiveness, set up.
Yeah, late payment forgiveness.
Late payment forgiveness, I'll set up automatic debits. Meaning you're giving the credit card company authorization to automatically debit your account every month, so they feel good knowing they're going to get their payments every month moving forward, and they're going to forgive your one late payment or a couple late payments based on renegotiating.
Wow, and I had no idea you could request a late payment forgiveness, so that's pretty awesome. What if I am habitually late though, Brett? Do you think they're going to forgive it? You can always try, probably.
It's just like anything else in this world. You can always ask for it. In worst case, if they say no, they say no. But at least at this point, you're stopping the bleeding and we're moving forward.
All right, you had one more tip for credit, and it's the opt-out pre-screen.
Yes.
Tell us about this. What is this website all about?
So optoutprescreen.com it's a way to protect yourself from identity theft, illegal activity, because that's what happens when you get those pre-approved credit card notifications in your mailbox. And if someone's going in your mailbox, grabbing it, trying to open up new accounts in your name, it will eliminate those for a 5-year window. And as a reward, the credit bureaus, you're basically telling them, I don't want any new credit. That doesn't mean you can't get new credit. You can still apply on your own, whether it's a car or a house or a credit card, but you're cutting down all the junk mail.
Yes, the predatory practices, all that junk mail, all that you've been pre-approved for a credit card, so you won't get those anymore if you go to this.
Yeah, and it usually takes somewhere between 45 to 60 days to kick in, and then it's good for 5 years.
Right, so no one can pull one of those pre-approvals out of your trash. It really does. It's great for a lot of reasons.
Yeah.
So check it out.
And it'll boost your score upwards anywhere from 30 to 50 points just by doing that once it kicks in. Yes.
That'll boost your score.
That boosts your score.
There's another one. There's number 4 way to boost your credit score.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, if you have any other questions about your credit score, how to raise your credit score, buy a home, I hope you'll call us at Advantage Home Team, Keller Williams Advantage Home Team, or Brett Collin at Barrett Financial. You want to give them your number?
602-330-5521.
Awesome. Thank you, Brett.
Thank you.